Hmm. Oh, all right. Got some. Hit the thing. Hit the button. Invite the guest. All right. Let's see if that thing's on. Ah. All right. Whew. Well. All right. Phone's about dead. Started the thing. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Dang it, Beavis. Um, ding. Hmm. Brr. Hmm. Wow. All right. All right. Let's see if it's on the thing. So is it working? So is it working? Yeah, it's working. All right. So is it working? Oof. So I just woke up from a dead sleep. Brrr. Oh, oh. All right, does this sound good? Why does it keep doing that? Hmm. 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 Is it working or not? Is it working or not? Yeah. Okay. Is it working or not? Now that I turn it off. All right, that's off. Oh, U.S. military spots a UFO. Oh boy. So is that clickbait? LA riots. More riots. What really happened? Some WKRP in Cincinnati. Oh man, I'm getting into some WKRP in Cincinnati.
Who's in the dark? I guess we've all heard those, right, babies? And it is the doctor, but I do deliver right here on WKRP, where it's time for me to remind you that WKRP, with your generous help and support, has now climbed to 10th place in the Cincinnati market. I sound emotional about this. It's because I can still hear my father saying, son, no matter what you decide to do in this life, always try to come in 10th. I think we've done it.
John, if you.
Anyhow, you, the listener, have made us what we are today, and we thank you very much.
So, it's hardly up. Come on, Johnny, put a little more conviction into it, will ya? Carlson really wants to thank his listeners for the good ratings. He's a very grateful guy.
Be grateful to me. Give me some money.
Well, these things take time.
Spoken like a true crypto-fascist puppet of the managerial elite. Travis, I don't know how you can look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, well, I like looking at myself in the mirror.
Hey, did you happen to find a pair of large gold earrings in yours? Yours? No.
Guess what?
What?
I got a letter here from the Brotherhood of the Midwestern Radio Workers. They want me to organize a union right here at KRP.
No, kidding.
You too?
He's back.
Hi. Yeah, a little bit early this morning, aren't you?
I'm a dedicated guy.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
happen to find a pair of gold earrings in your office?
So, what are you two guys talking about?
Let's go with it. Nothing and the weather. What do you want, Travis?
Your friendship. Kind of mock around with you guys. Share your joys and your hardships.
Gee, I don't know, Andy.
Oh, did I eat?
Yeah, let me know if you change your mind, all right?
Sure. He's snooping around. Yeah,
Venus.
I had a meeting about the union this morning over at WPIG.
Oh, I like it. It has a ring of conspiracy to it.
Yeah. I'll tell you something else, too.
Bailey.
Something very important to talk about.
So, from the compilation shows, there's a bunch of them I love, but this is one of the WKRP is one of the best, where they all just where somebody's coming and going. They all work together. It's just the writing, the writing is mind blowing. But once you write it, you have to get somebody to do it. So, where's the cast of characters? WKRP. Get my mind. Give me my. When I wake up from a dead sleep, I have to remember who I am. At first, I got to remember where I am. I have to figure out where I am. Figure out where I am, and then I have to remember who I am. Is it Braxton? Hello.
Evening.
Hey, evening. I'm waking up from a dead sleep.
Oh,
So I was about to explain what I mean by a dead sleep is when. So how do I get to a dead sleep? Is I wonder if we sound good. Let me check that. We sounded good last time. I would think we'd be sound good this time. So I wake up. All right. So my dead. How do I start that? It's tough to explain. Post dead sleep, I have to remember who I am, where I am, and it takes me a while to kind of remember a lot of things. I get to a dead sleep. I lost my electrolytes this week, and I had a premonition of it. I had a premonition that I might die somewhere earlier. So today's Sunday. I had a premonition that I was going to die, I think, Wednesday. I had a premonition I was going to die like yesterday or today, and I didn't. I could very well easily have been not here right now. So I lose my electrolytes fairly easily. And this was one of those weekends. We had the biggest storm since 2012 in my area. It came up quick. Let me see if I can pull up my my storm that I was in. Just watch that real quick. So, all right. So I got to do this. All right. And hit thing. Bum-ba-dum, bum-ba-dum. Bum-ba-dum, bum-ba-dum. Got to run to keep from hiding. And I'm bound to keep on riding. Got one more silver dollar, and I'm not gonna let them catch me, no. Not gonna let them catch the midnight ride.
Here we go.
So what prompted me to start?
So it was 96 degrees, dropped down to 87 now.
Prompted me to start get out my camera is a wind gust lifted my car.
Summer storm.
It went from clear blue skies to real quick overcast, dark, and then dark,
Oh,
and then this, and then dark.
Boom.
So this was Thursday. Yeah, this was Thursday.
So that's coming from southeast. This is unusual. These southern storms, they're supposed to.
Yeah,
they
so
normally
June
come from
19th.
North and west.
What is today's date?
But
22nd.
that was a gust. I would say that was about 70 mile an hour gust. I'm gonna go find shelter. I'm exposed right now near all these power lines. Like all the power lines.
It was literally like the whole town's power lines were right next to me, with the wind blowing at me towards the power lines with the trees over top. So that immediately got my adrenaline on high.
The wind. Look at the wind whipping the rain on the road.
And when these storms happen, people don't know what to do. Thunderclaps. I'm still waking up. Yeah, there's a U-turn sign, right? No U-turn. I'm like, fuck that. I'm out of here. So traffic was going the wrong way for me. I don't know where you all are going, but I'm not going that way. People, I feel. I mean, I feel for those people that they don't know, like, how to react. But I'm kind of glad that they don't know how to react, or else there would be a lot of people in my way. Not that I'm more important than anybody else, but because when things happen, I mean, I stop and I help out as best as I can. The cops around here know me, because if something just happened, I'm there. If I see that something just happened, I'm there, dealing with the situation, whatever the situation may be.
Bigger and badder. Here we go.
So the guy,
Traveling music.
whoever's driving that truck.
Audio.
So to get my heart rate down, I had to turn on the radio, and I don't know. I normally do not listen to terrestrial radio. So some Cindy. So I turn on the radio. First thing that comes on is some Cyndi Lauper. So
I know it's awful. I know that song right from just the notes.
So I don't know for what reason that I know the Cyndi Lauper, but I do. Yeah. Oh, the thing. Remove that. Braxton, are you there?
Yep, still here.
All right. Did you catch my explanation of why I went to a dead sleep?
Yep, I heard you. Sounds like something from the Final Destination films.
So the Final Destination, you try to do things to try to, if you have, I don't try to change anything. I don't try to change my future. Like, oh, I know this is going to happen, that sort of thing, and I'm going to try to change it. That's not what I just have. I get the premonition that, okay, well, I'm about to bite it, but I didn't. I don't. It's not like, oh, if I can change one thing, or I won't go there, or that sort of thing. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, somewhat. And now you still here talking.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to remember.
Oh, and I thought dude from Manimals channel was supposed to pull up here.
It was a suggestion, but yeah, it's you know, things happen. It's life.
Yep. Well, if he comes through, he comes through. Or if he don't, he don't. Or maybe he'll try to come around next time.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
Me neither. I said, hey, so whenever he comes around, he'll show up.
So how you doing today?
All right. Was keeping my room dark, from the heat temperatures.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and having my fan on. Like it's hot, but it's hot, but it's not too hot. It's in the 90s down here.
Yeah. It just hit.
It's nothing like it was last summer in the year. It's nothing like last summer and the summer before that, because 2 years ago and last year it was history record breaking heat.
Yep. Yeah, last summer was brutal. I wound up in the hospital last summer with the heat stroke.
Oh, but yeah, it was nothing like it was last summer and the summer before.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. At least in some states. Yeah, but as for down here, we're used to that type of heat during the summer.
So
so I was doing that. I just have done having a little bit of food, some leftover food, and some sweet potato. Yeah, just had some ribs I just had some ribs, toast potatoes, and a sweet potato pie.
What kind of ribs?
Barbecued.
Yeah, but what pork or cow?
I think those ribs I'm assuming they might have been cow, or they could have been pork. I might be wrong.
Spare. What do they call them? Spare ribs? Can you spare a rib?
I don't know what these are, because my mom had got them. She brought them from someplace. So yes, I don't know what kind they were. Yes, they might have been either. They might have been cow.
Where they fall off the bone ribs, where you just you don't even need to pick at them. They just.
Nope, they weren't those type of ribs, but they were still as good as those type of ribs, though.
Yeah, it depends on how you cook them, right? It's the flavor, the infused flavor. So, how long did they take to cook?
Well, I really don't know, because I didn't see them get cooked, but I'm assuming it might have took you. I don't think it took too much time. Excuse me.
Are you a good cook? Are you a cook at all?
No, not yet. I still have plenty to learn. So no, I'm not that good of a cook yet. I know I should have been by now, but no, I'm not yet.
If you're gonna make something, what's your go-to cooking? What are you gonna make?
You mean for when I start, for when I want? Well, the one dish I want to learn how to make now is buffalo chicken. Is either buffalo chicken. It's something related to both buffalo chicken and lemon pepper chicken. So I want to learn how to make some buffalo chicken mac and cheese, buffalo chicken spaghetti, buffalo chicken, soup, lemon, pasta, buffalo chicken pasta, lemon chicken pasta.
So you like the chicken. My I used to love chicken, but now I went more towards turkey. So
Oh,
if I'm gonna cook something, if I'm gonna cook something for myself, I'd rather have turkey than chicken.
okay. Well, this same here, the main meats I like hold on, excuse me, chicken, turkey. Let me see, chicken, turkey, gator, and fish.
Here.
Yes.
All right.
Yep, I love gator, especially being from where I'm from. Yeah, but I don't do steak. No, I don't do steak like I used to years and years ago when I was in middle school. Yeah, but I don't mind, but I don't mind, a Philly cheesesteak because Philly cheesesteaks are very tasty. So
So I'm very particular about my cheesesteaks. Uh, I
yeah,
live.
yeah, the only ones I like are the Philly cheesesteaks. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I lived in PA for a while. I was very close to South Street, and that's where I got I got a tattoo over there. And so when I was getting my tattoo, they brought over one of the steaks. Some guy, because it took like a couple hours, and they were like, "Oh, we're doing a food run," and so they went out and got the actual real cheesesteak, and that, oh my god. So when you say Philly cheesesteak, I mean that's pretty specific to me. Like the juiciness, what do they call the cheese that they put on? It's not like it's there's like it's like a liquid cheese.
Oh, oh, okay. See that, and let me see, Philly cheesesteak and sir. Yeah, I don't mind sirloin once in the blue moon. Like I said, I just don't do steak like that anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Steak for me, it's like it slows me down. After I eat, I feel sluggish. I feel slow. Is that a real thing that you've noticed? They say you are what you eat.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah, it is at some points true. Yeah, just like the phrase "you are who you hang with," also you are what you eat.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. I can't.
Usually,
I can't even remember. I can't even remember if I ate right now. Like, did I eat? I'm still waking up. I'm like, did I eat today?
well, I remember me eating because I just now ate a few seconds ago. And I finished. I'm gonna throw this to go box away and put this bowl in the dish and wash it out. There's only a fork in the bowl. Gonna give me another bottled water.
Oh, I've got some Gatorade Zero. Right, I got a couple bottles of Gatorade Zero with me. Hmm.
Me, I don't do. I don't do Gatorade. I only had Gatorade just once in my life. That was back when I was 16. Well, here's the thing: I was out somewhere with some people we knew of. They picked me up for church and something else, and he made a stop at one of the gas stations and got us some drinks, and yeah, he got us some Gatorade. I think I had can't remember if I had a red or a blue Gatorade. Yeah, but that's the only time in my life I had a Gatorade. Yeah, unless I never was in the Gatorade.
Well, I have to maintain my electrolytes. I have to do it. I cannot do without it. If I go without electrolytes, I'm toast. So um, when I after I died, I had consulted with the doctor and all that stuff, and It's like, all right, Gatorade. I'm like, I can't do sugar. So I'm like, I can't do Gatorade. It's got all the sugar. He said, well, Gatorade Zero. And I'm like, ah. And then so for like 2 months, I was drinking like 4 Gatorade Zeros a day, and that shit got expensive just to live. I'm like, figure something else out. And then 7-Eleven has they have a Replenish Zero, and it's 2 for $3 $2 for $3, and they actually taste a lot better. My kid loves the 7-Eleven the 7-Eleven version of it. But
I see. Yeah, and I heard you say it's getting tattoos now. I was gonna plan on getting on tattoos years. Excuse me. What in the world happened? Yeah, I was gonna get some tattoos years ago. Oh snap! Yeah, I was gonna get some tattoos years ago. I'm still am gonna get them. I want to get sleeve tats.
so
Excuse me.
your skin color is pretty dark, right?
Well, yeah, I'm not that dark, but I am dark.
And so, have you thought about doing color on the tats?
Yeah, I would. Now I was told this is when we were in New Orleans back in the first week of July 2012. When now we went out of town. we went from here to Georgia. We stopped in Georgia for a few hours, and then and then we went up to the Carolinas, and that was my first time ever being in Georgia and being up in the Carolinas because at the time my sister was married to her ex-husband. They had their baby a year before, and he was off, working, doing his armed service work. And my mother and her ex-boyfriend, they were taking them back. They were taking my sister and her baby back to North Carolina, right? And so we went on a road trip, and now after we dropped them off up in the Carolinas and made our way back, back downward. We stopped in Georgia again for a couple of days, but then a month later, that was in June, and then the month later, I said first week of July, when it was me, my mother, her boyfriend, and one of my mom's so-called friends. Yeah. So what?
Mm-hmm.
Say what?
The so-called friends. That's a story for later.
Yeah, one of her quote so-called friends, if you want to call her a friend, because their relationship, you can say, is kind of like this is a young person term I haven't heard in years. They call, I guess, a friend of me or whatever. But but she came along with us, and when we got to Orleans, we met up with some of we met up with some of. Yeah, talk, damn it. We met up with some of my mom's boyfriends, folks. But yeah, because he has some family down there too. And when we all had went through the French Quarters on Bourbon Street, me and him had stopped at a tattoo, because I was thinking about getting tattoos. Because we also stopped at a tattoo shop over in Shreveport. But when we were down in New Orleans, we came about a tattoo shop, and there was a young woman. And she was looking at, my arms and my skin color, because she said, okay, one, you don't have a lot of arm, because I'm a small, skinny guy. And so she said, you don't have a lot of arm, and I'm, and I'm not that dark, and due to my skin tone, I can't have some color. And so, once you get a tattoo, she told me, once you get a tattoo, she said, before you get it first make sure it's something that you like and that you want, and you have to see yourself, wearing it, because once a tattoo is on you, you don't, it doesn't come off as permanent.
Right.
So,
So yeah, so when I got mine when I was on South Street, my wolf, I didn't think about color at all it was just a thing. I was like, I had a check, an extra check, and I wanted to go spend it, and I I I was there for a while, and then in the tattoo artist's mind, not my mind, he wanted to add colors that we weren't communicating well. Me and that tattoo artist. I use that term. I use that term somewhat loosely because it was great tattoo, but I kind of I picked it out of a book, right?
mhm.
And I didn't really think of that first one, as well as I did my next one, and so then I was like, he's like, all right, I'm gonna start doing the color, and I was like, color, okay. And then I just kind of let him go to town, and then he got to the eyes, and he was like, I want to add yellow eyes. I was like, oh, I don't want yellow eyes, and he did it anyway.
Shit, you should have gotten what you wanted and paid for.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, I was very intimidated while I was getting it. I didn't. I mean, I knew. I knew what I was doing, kind of, sort of, right? But I didn't know like the full, you know, with the color. But now, 30 years later, all the color's gone.
You didn't go. So you really went back to get it touched up.
No, I do stuff like where it's like, okay, well, I got that done, and then, I mean, I thought about it like maybe 10 years ago. I was like, do I want to get this recolored, and do I want to get my other one recolored? Oh, I've got a good picture of my other one, and I still have not. I did not color my other one at all because of my experience from the first one. So after the first one I got colored, I'm like, I really have to think about the colors because I'm colorblind, and I'm like, well, what color are you really putting on there? And if somebody sees that, what are they going to see? So I really do. I do black, just black. That's it.
Yeah, the main safe color.
Yeah.
And as for types of tattoos, I don't know. I thought about getting either a tribal or barbed wire because I love barbed wire, or getting something related to villains or vampires or something. Things. It's just human things that I like, or things that captured my interest. So.
I've got a couple others that are not actual tattoos, but they're lifetime scars that are just so like when I naturally don't go out in the sun, they disappear. But when I go out in the sun and I get a lot of sun and I get a tan, they appear. So I've got a 777 and I got a fire on my arms, and I thought a lot about those ones, but they're not. I mean, they're like I would say tattoos, but not like like with the tattoo gun. And other scars on my body that the melanin in my skin is gone there. So it's just like the skin, just skin, and then so everything else around those shows whatever sun kisses it, but those parts are they stand out after I'm in the sun for like good nice tan, dark tan.
Oh, let's see. That's far.
Right. Yeah.
Now back in high school, I think this girl, she was cool. She was a little fighter. Yeah, she took no mess. I think she was a freshman now. It was a girl. She was black. I know her face, but I forgot her name though. But now I think she was a freshman. Now about maybe a couple of days to a week later, she comes back to school. I see marks on her legs. I look down. Now she got some leg tattoos. She got visible leg tattoos. Now I do not know. Like I said, she was a freshman. She was short. She looked like she could. To me, she looked like she could pass for being like in between 10 to 12 years old. That's how young in the face she looked. I said, and she was a freshman. I was like, okay, so you a freshman? I said, how old are you? I said, are you old enough to get to get tattoos? But yeah, it turns out now when she was talking to some students, she was saying that her dad is a DJ. So, so she would go to different, clubs, and places, and, so she would go to different clubs, back and forth with her dad. So I was like, okay, yeah, no wonder why you have your personality and tattoos. So yeah, Yellow House, yes. So she got a little bit of, street inside of her. Yeah, and she was real cool and nice towards me. And now she had visible tattoos, and another dude who I had some classes with, he had visible arm tattoos. He had a visible arm tattoos, and he had an eyebrow piercing. And he was talking to some of the student class. Now he said that one of the assistant principals had tried to get him about his tattoos, and that's when he said, and that's when I whipped out the handbook on him and showed him where it talked about different body modifications and tattoos. Now in the student handbook, it said no offensive tattoos.
No.
Yep, that's what our high school handbook said. It said no offensive tattoos. So yeah, so students who were old enough, so yeah, they could have visible tattoos on their neck, on their arm, face, if they wanted to. It just could not be any offensive tattoos. That was the rule. I was like, yeah, but old dude was smart.
So all right, so then we have to define who's offensive or what's offensive and how is it offensive.
Exactly, because the tattoos he had stars, and I think he had some Asian writing, and that's it. So I say, yeah, so there's nothing offensive about that.
Well, all right, so the Asian writing, then we get into what is the Asian writing, and then do we interpret the Asian writing?
Exactly. There's another thing when it comes to writing in different languages, when in tattoo form, make sure you know what it is.
Yeah. I do recall that a while back there was some celebrities that were getting like tattoos and stuff, and their tattoos that in different writings meant something that they did not think that it meant.
Well, and there's both amateur and both amateur and experienced tattoo artists, they tell people that too. Whenever you get something, in a foreign language on your skin, make sure you know what it says, or try to find someone who knows what it means before you get it.
And they were wearing like on their neck or something like that. Yeah, that became a thing. And then once they realized it, there were no more foreign language neck tattoos.
Yeah. Imagine getting some goofy or freaky tatted across your neck, and the meaning of it is insert here or down the throat or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's. So when I got my my next tattoo, I thought a lot about it, and I found a great artist, and we went over the whole thing, and what he did for me was draw it, and then he put it on me, and I wore it he didn't tattoo it yet, but I wore it for a couple days. He's like, it's going to take like 1 or 2 days to wear off. And then, so I wore it and I looked in the mirror, you look back, all that stuff. Like, okay. And then, so he kept the original. I had to pay for the original. And then he burnt the original after, but he kept it for a couple of days, and then I went back in. And he put it in the exact spot that he put it in the first place. And I was like, all right, let's go to town. And so I sat there, laid there. I think it was like 6 hours, if I'm remembering correctly now. I'm remembering these things now as I talk to you, awakening from my dead sleep. But yeah, he put it there, and so I kept it for a couple days, without being permanent, and then he was able to, before he put it back on in the same spot. He like wiped the whole thing off and then worked with the clean spot. So if you're gonna get a tat, I would recommend asking for something like that. And I mean I don't even remember how much I paid for it.
Oh.
But it was for me back then, it was a good bit.
Oh, yeah, and that was back then, you said, and that was 30 years back. But as for now, yeah, the cost of tattoos has gone up a bit. Like, yeah, because as far as I know, it's like, well, some tattoos are almost the price of cost of tattoos and cost of driver's tests. They're almost at the same price of a bill in a home. Yeah.
Do say that again. I did not comprehend whatever you just did. The same price as something about a home.
Yeah. Some tattoos might nearly be the cost of a bill inside of a home, depending on what you're getting. Yeah, and also however much the artist charges.
And that's another thing, the artist, because I cannot find my artist to go back and retouch my second one, much less the first one. I had no idea who did the first one. I had no idea who did the first one, but I know who did the second one, and he put like little clues inside that shows I am this artist and this is my art. He it was yeah. So he signed it, but without him actually saying this is done by But so if he ever finds that tattoo again, he's like, I did that, and you can see my signature there. But
Oh, oh, and that's if and the different things when they say about managing, about how to manage from when you get a tattoo in the aftercare. And now, of course, they say now they say yes, you're going to feel it. Yeah, you might feel some pain or pinch or an itch or a scratch or whatever. But they said it's not going to be like you're ready to jump out of your skin, or going, it's nothing like that. And plus, and people's pain tolerance is different on different parts of their body. Now, the parts where I just said, getting sleeves, they said, those won't, those are not gonna hurt, much or not at all. But when you get it like someplace forward where it's like on the bone or near the bone, that part they said is where you're really gonna feel it.
yep.
Yeah. But then again, now some people who get tattoos, that's gonna be like go across their bone areas. Some people said, yeah, it did hurt, and then after a while, they didn't feel nothing much, or it only felt like it itched, and some people said they didn't feel anything at all. So
Yeah. So when I got my first one, I was in a place where I could regularly shower and have isopropyl alcohol was readily available to me. My second one, it was much larger, and I had to care for it while I was kind of like out and about in the field and whatnot. And so, yeah, the aftercare is a huge thing. But the first one was like, not so big a deal with aftercare, but the second one, that took effort. I don't recall how long it took after, but I remember it being a while. It was yeah. And I couldn't reach. I can't. Okay. So the other one I couldn't reach. So it's like, so I had to. I had to invent ways to care for the after for the other, the large.
mm-hmm.
So I worked with the guy. We became pretty close, and we were doing a removal of a tree, and a strap broke, and the strap, when it broke, it slapped him, smacked her. Braxton.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I heard a lot of noise and stuff. I got
Oh
distracted.
yeah, I think you might have. I think you might have heard my keyboard on my smart tablet because I was looking at some notifications on my. I was looking at some notifications on my Facebook on my smart tablet. Maybe that's what you heard. I don't know. Yeah, but if you do hear some other noise in the background, I think you might hear my fan. I have it on high. I'm about to turn it on to another mode so it won't be as loud.
Well, it sounded like you were like riding a bicycle, like in the wind.
Then again, it might have been my pendant that bumped up against my phone. So that's my bad.
All right, I was. It's not a thing. I was getting distracted.
Yeah, hold on, I'll show you. Yeah, it might have been this that bumped up against my phone, maybe.
I don't know. It sounds like wind.
Oh, yep, then that's my phone. Well, not my phone, I mean my fan. Yeah, I turned it down a little bit.
Oh well, don't turn the fan down.
You know, well, I was already gonna do that anyway because now it's cooler outside. It's 7:40. It's 7:47 now, and I was gonna open up my curtain so I can get some warmth in here.
Hmm.
So yeah, I
So-
turn it down.
That's pretty cool. I had no idea we were going to talk about tattoos this whole time.
Me neither.
So do you? I mean, are you more resolved now after we talked about tattoos, or are you less resolved about getting a tattoo?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm all good. I'm being resolved and all, you know. Yeah, but you know, as soon as I get up the money and all, and you look at the, you know, the type of ones I want to go on both of my arms, you know, and I hit up, you know, I'll hit up, you know, hit up some artists around here. I'll go to them and I'll go with the artist, you know, who seems to be, you know, who seems to be experienced and knows what he or she or they is talking about, and then I'll go from there.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, and I know they're gonna be surprised when I tell them now. I was gonna get my first my first few set of tattoos years ago. They'll be might be surprised when I tell them how many years ago exactly. But
I mean, I, I, I'm going to say that I got so. It's not a tattoo; it's an arm carving, so a skin carving rather. So I think I was 15 or 16 or something like that, and I had them carve a knife, a very sharp knife, fire, Jimi Hendrix fire, because I mean I was you know Jimi Hendrix. Let me stand next to your fire. Ba-da-bow, ba-da-bow. So, and I've also, I mean, I've loved fire, like, and that's just me. Just like, I'm not a pyro, and that's not what I'm saying. But fire is always been enthralling. But I had that carved into my arm when I was like 15 or 16, and I really trusted the person that took a knife to my body. So yeah, you have to trust. That's my.
oh, it's nice.
When you're gonna do something to yourself, you really have to trust. It's like,
Right.
So this is a forever thing, right? It's like, and then because there's no way I would be able to remove any of my tattoos or anything like that without being additionally scarred. And then tattoo removal, my thought on that is, I think it would be worse to do a tattoo removal than actually keeping the tattoo itself. Because then you have to actually look at I removed it, and then you have to think about those, all those decisions you made leading up to getting the tattoo, and then removing the tattoo, and then where are you now?
Oh, true. Yeah, and that's what they said. It's permanent. And so make sure it's one that you want and like and see yourself wearing it. What's up?
Do you know anything about the what is it, the Yakuza tattoos?
Yes, the Japanese mob.
Hmm.
Yeah, yep. I've seen some pictures. I've seen some pictures years ago. Seen pictures years ago of tattoos that the Yakuza do be wearing, and of course in theirs obviously it has specific, it has some specific significant meanings, amongst them, Yeah, so I saw it at one book, and I saw in another small book, tattoos I saw, you know, I saw some very unique and beautiful ones. And one of the ones that stood out to me in that small tattoo book I saw, it was a memoriam tattoo uh, of 9/11, and it was the Twin Towers. Is like it showed. I think it showed the Twin Towers, you know, smoke, you know, and smoke and flames, and on both sides, it was angels. It was an angel on one side and an angel on another side, and they were holding a banner, and it was flowing, and it had all the names, you know, of the people, you know, who unfortunately, you know, didn't make it, who lost their lives in it. Yeah, so it was a very, so that was a very beautiful tattoo.
With that, from what I understand and what I gather, is that the reason for like full body tats and like that is so like first responders, the people that run into the fire. If there's a piece of them that makes it out, you know who they are.
Right. Oh, right. Oh, in the group of the first group of the first responders, you know, who showed up to the scene that day, all of them didn't make it.
I'm not talking about, not the 9/11, but the reason for the way the way you do all those tattoos is so.
Okay, I see.
You're a badass motherfucker. if you're full body tatted, people are gonna know if you don't make it out of that situation. They know who was in that situation by whatever piece they find afterwards.
See, and also in some other cultures, like in tribal cultures, now the way they do their tattoos, they use specific type of tool, and one of them is a blade. One of them, it looks like in one tool, it looks like some type of blade. It looks like a medium-sized handheld scythe. And now in this country, back in the day, from what I was learning, now like back when you were coming up in the 80s, they said that back then tattoos, they weren't seen as how they're seen now. They were seen in a more like taboo, you know, bias, in a more like taboo bias point of views, you know. So because tattoos back when you were coming up, and either meant somebody, they were, you know, either an outlaw, you know, criminals, thug related, you know, etc.
Yeah, Harley Davidson, all that stuff.
Yep, or being from the hood and all. Yeah.
It's a thing to think of before you get your tattoo. What generation are you now? Like where, you know? Because I did think about all that before I got either any of my tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about that.
Yeah, but speaking of Harley Davidson, yeah, and by the way, I've been around both black and white bikers before. But the first time I was around white bikers, it was when I was 13, and that was during Mardi Gras season down here. Yeah, yeah, because now how that happened, the gym that my mom was a member of back then is being gone and moved away. But back when she had a membership at that gym, they was throwing, you know, an event, you know, because of Mardi Gras, you know, cause like it was something, you know, cause, you know, it was things going on that side of the street and going on on the other side of the street, because if it was Mardi Gras, you know, so everybody was doing their own, it's like everybody was doing like their own separate thing, but together at the same time. And and the gym she went to, it was owned by a white couple. And you know, so of course they hit up, you know, some of their family, friends, you know, and their gym, you know, patrons and all. Yes, so that's how I ended up being around a lot of white bikers, a lot of happy white bikers, and by happy I mean they had a good dose of that grown folks juice, and they seem to be happier, more happy than what they already were.
Hmm.
So yep, I had some experience with that. Yeah, but back then I was again, of course, but back then I was a kid. I don't know how it would be for me now, me now as a young man, but
So that would be really cool to. I mean, thinking back of now. So I think the first time I had my first carving was tattoo was 1998, 97, 96, 97. Nope, it was 96. 1996 was the first time it wasn't a real but it's a tattoo, but it wasn't like a traditional tattoo. It was the first I had something permanent in my body that was not originally there. So how long was that? So 30 years.
yeah, can you believe it's been 30 years since then?
And I don't regret it. I do not regret it, but I thought about it. And I think I was young, and so it's one of those things. Think about it. If you're gonna get like an arm sleeve and all that stuff, think about it. I think I'm gonna retitle this video after we're done. Instead of waking up from a deep sleep to tattoo or something like that.
Yeah, it's the tattoos and whatnot.
Well, it's 9:00 here. I'm gonna shove off, but thank you for hanging out and talking with me. I appreciate it very much.
All right, sure. All right, sure, and you're welcome. Like I said, sure, around anytime.
All right.
All righty, we'll do it again next time.
Yes, sir. Next time, I'm gonna do all I can to make sure there's a next time.
All right, sure. Yeah, sure. And yeah, next time we'll get on the subject about about the whole movie thing, and other stuff. But all right.
Yeah, all the other stuff. Let's keep. It's great.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right. See ya.
All right. See ya.